Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my video again. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Armand Maulana Siregar. I'm fourth semester student in Islamic State University of Sharif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. This time, on this occasion, I will explain some articles about English foreign language and other interesting discussion about writing, reading, and pronunciation that's very useful for you. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, firstly, overall in this article, it discusses about English foreign language, which is usable and can be applied in daily life and learning. English as a foreign language, or EFL, refers to learning and using English as an additional language in a non-English speaking country. It can be compared with ESL and ESOL, which refer mainly to learning English as a new resident in an English-speaking country. But we will also discuss about reading, writing, and pronunciation here, which will be related to be explanation one by one. In the first article, the role of positive and negative evidence in the development of the English present progressive structure. In this article, the aim of the study is to examine the influence of the positive and negative evidence group outperforming of the positive evidence group at the level of descriptive statistics. Looking back at what the study hypothesized earlier, showing that negative evidence is more effective than positive evidence when teaching current progressive structure, it's clear that the results obtained do not support this assumption. Possible explanation for this, although there is a significant increase in the negative group average score, may overlap positive evidence with negative evidence during sending instruction to the negative evidence group. As suggested by Al-Maghrabi and Jafre, negative evidence helps L2 students rearrange the parameters of the target language and make them aware of the possible ungrammatic structure and certain linguistic structure. Improved performance of the negative evidence group on the post-test show a fundamental role for this type of linguistic evidence in the development of L2. By looking at the negative and positive evidence group scores, it's safe to assume that both types are effective as means of knowledge acquisition, especially when they are often given to L2 learners, as discussed by Straub et al. And second article, language learning, a case in the National University of Laos. In learning English students, there are certainly factors that cause low learning English students, and in this article, there are main reasons why ELF is so low, especially at the National University of Laos. First, the majority students state that English teachers are not well trained. For example, they use Laotian when teaching, so they cannot do their third studies. Second, students lack basic teaching, so they cannot. Students lack basic English background. And third, students lack the confidence to use English because they are afraid of mistakes and feelings of shame. Fourth, the curriculum is not appropriate to help students improve their English skills. Last but not least, English is difficult to learn because students are not well motivated. The courage and learning strategies are limited. Furthermore, students do not practice speaking English with native English speakers, and the noisy classroom environment is not fulfilled teaching pedagogy. English curriculum should be provided when they study in the first year of junior high school. In addition, these results are also very important for language education, and policymakers to carefully examine how theories in language learning in the context of education in Laos and make them change needed to fit both the current real life situation and encourage the best learning of English in among Laotian students, especially for higher education students. And the third article with the title, EFL Preserve his Teacher Speaking Skill. Speaking is crucial part of second foreign language learning and teaching. Despite its importance for many years, teaching speaking has been undervalued, and English language teachers have continued to teach speaking just as repetition of memorization of dialogue. Learners are given few opportunities to practice speaking in the target language in natural, conventionally unintentionally setting many students fail when attempting to carry on a basic conversation in the target language. The purpose of the current study is to investigate the degree to which learners benefit from voice trade in developing EFL speaking skills. The experiment was applied to a sample of 34-year EFL pre-service teaching in Faculty of Education in University. Findings show that the voice trade was effective in developing the participants' EFL speaking skills. The study confirmed what has been demonstrated by other Hennis, Rany, Bergado, and Stoltenkamp and Mapford, that using voice trade create an authentic environment that motivates learners to practice the language easily and smoothly. The result of the study provided foreign language educators with empirical data on the effectiveness on asynchronous voice conferencing of EFL speaking skills. It also helped foreign language educators realize that asynchronous voice or conferencing in online environment really does foster collaboration and increasing EFL speaking skills. This focus helps prepare students for lifelong learning in the information age and continue to guide the way by promoting both independent and collaborative learning. And the next article, with the title Improving Reading Comprehension Through Literature Circle. As one of the receptacle skills, it's important for students to master reading comprehension. The purpose of teaching reading is to develop the abilities of students to be effective and efficient in reading. In fact, the average score for the English reading comprehension proficiency of the third grade student was still far below 7. The school curriculum criteria. There are many methods and approaches available for teaching learning process to develop the capabilities of students. Kazim has stated that cooperative learning is a successful teaching strategy in which small teams, each with students of different levels of ability, with a variety learning activities to improve their understanding of a subject. In short, the researchers use a literature circles as an active way to improve the reading comprehension of students, increasing the communication between students and giving individual students an active role in the learning process because they have to focus on the text given them. There was a significant positive difference between the result from the students who were taught by literature circles technique and the students who were taught with the standard teacher-centered approach, which can be seen from the score from the EGN decision. And the next, the title, Improving Student Reading Skill Through Interactive Approach at the First Grade on SMAN 1 Mare. The finding of the research indicated that implementation interactive approach was successful since the criteria of success were achieved. The first criterion was 70% of students could pass the target score 70 based on the Qarqet. The findings show that 74 and 57 of students had already achieved the target score. Besides, the second criterion was the student who become more active involved in teaching learning process. The result of observation checklists show that through interactive approach method, the students were more creative, confident in the classroom, especially reading activity. Based on the finding mentioned above, the researcher suggests that English teachers could implement interactive approach method in teaching reading in order to improve students in learning English reading. Okay, on the next article with the title Reading Comprehension Difficulties Among EFL Learners, the case of first and second year students at Yarmouk University. The findings reveal that the respondents are motivated to learn as they are in their need for acquiring English. However, they face several problems in the reading process, such as ambiguous words, unfamiliar vocabulary, and limited available time to cognitively process text. The findings of this study may be useful to policy makers in Jordan to improve the learners' reading experience. This paper reveals that the secondary school EFL learners face difficulties in their reading comprehension where they encounter ambiguous words, unfamiliar vocabulary, and limited available time to cognitively process the text. Thus, policymakers and teachers need to find effective ways to tackle this problem in order to engage learners in a meaningful reading experience. Next, article with the title Improving Students' Writing Skills Through Field Trip Method. Next, in this article aims to improve writing skills and student learning activities by implementing the implementation of the field trip method in English subjects in grade 08 to SMPN 1. The problem in the content of the research is about the low skill of the student in writing and learning activities. The result of the field not show that the class condition during the teachings, the learning process create positive atmosphere in the classroom and make students creative in finding ideas, organizing text, and using better grammar. Students who have been afraid of learning in the second cycle look more confident. Students in the second cycle are more confident in student work assignment, and student participation in learning increase. They actively ask questions, answer questions from the teacher. And the next, with the title, The Effectiveness of Using Field Trip Technique to the Writing Skill for the Senior High Students. The discussion in this article is about writing. In this article, the aim is to find out whether there are significant differences in teaching writing skills between second grade high school students taught by using field trip technique and those not taught using field trip technique. The effect of field trip technique in knowledge through technique in teaching writing descriptive text is expect to build students' background knowledge through real situations such as taking students out of the classroom so students can explore their thought through what they see and face directly. Field trip technique in teaching writing skill are activities that involve students to share ideas through the school environment in sequence that students can achieve learning goals. Perhaps this learning technique can inspire student imagination, develop critical thinking skills, and create better background knowledge. There are so many advantages in implementing field trip in the classroom, allowing the many advantages in implementing field trips in the classroom, allowing the teacher to be more creative, second, and keeping the student from being bored. Okay, and the next article with the title, Improving the Experiment in Paper Writing Skill in 5th grade through the Discovery Learning Method. The last discussion about writing skill in this article aim to improve the skill of writing experimental reports through the discovery of learning methods for 5th grade students of SD Muhammadiyah Saben Jakarta. The research is a classroom action research study subjects where 26 students of class 5th. The result of the study indicated that the process of discovery method can improve the skill of writing experimental report of 5th grade students of SD Muhammadiyah Saben Jakarta. It can be seen from the result of field observation sheets and writing performance. You can see also. And the last article with the title, Teaching English Pronunciation by Using Film. The final discussion of this article is to find out whether the use of film is effective in improving students' ability of pronunciation skill and student responses to film in improving their pronunciation skill. The result also showed that the use of film in teaching English pronunciation doesn't provide a major improvement. However, students respond positively to film as a teaching medium. Furthermore, the use of film in Indonesian language increases student motivation in learning English. This research shows that the use of film can be beneficial for educational purposes. Okay guys, that's all about my article summary that I have read in this semester. Hope you enjoy and you can find the benefits about this article that I have taught to you. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.